Anybody else? It is what it is. Very good. You're welcome, brother. I love you. I love you too. All right. Don't stop being.
No. I'm not going to stop being me, but I just had to address it.
I got you.
You know.
And I appreciate
your heart.
And I had to.
Good.
All right. Love you, man.
I love you too, brother. All right.
Thanks.
So, does anybody know the difference between life and school? Oh, what do you got?
When you feel like giving up, remember why you started.
Yes, that's my favorite thing.
Very
That's
good.
my
Very
favorite
good.
thing.
Anybody know the difference between life and school?
You never said that one before.
School, you get the lesson and then the test. You got to study the lesson in order to pass the test. God is so beautiful, He switched it. First, you get the test in life. Then you get the lesson. Learn the lesson, pass the test. So, anybody know what a pop quiz is?
Oh, yeah.
When do you usually get a pop quiz? When you least expect it. Does anybody know what the purpose of a pop quiz
To
is?
see how much you know.
How much you know and how much you don't know. Does the pop quiz go into your grade at school?
I have no idea.
No. It's usually like on the first day of school, pop quiz, right? Show you what you know and you don't know. Life is a pop quiz.
Okay.
The test that you're getting is to show you what you know and you don't know. The test that you're failing isn't because we don't know how to do it. We're failing because you're doing it the wrong way. So what test, I see you, what test are you going through right now that maybe you're not learning from it?
Ooh.
And you're allowing the test to give you a failing grade. But in life, we're supposed to fail the test because you can't succeed in life without first failing at it and learning from it. I didn't know how to cook crack. Someone had to teach me how to cook crack. I didn't know how to sell drugs. Someone had to teach me how to sell. I failed at these things. But failure didn't stop me. Failure allowed me to learn from it. How? I got someone to teach me. What do you got for me?
I was going to say, pop quizzes also show what you retain. What you focus on and retain without knowing that you would be tested on it. Like, it shows
Well said.
like what stood out to you, whether or not you knew instead of being on the test.
Very good.
If it was
So basically, don't get all caught up that you're failing tests in life, because if you can learn the lesson, you'll stop failing the test. So life is always going to be teaching us. If we stop learning, life is going to take you out. So we're going to talk about today some mindsets, some different mindsets we can practice. You guys know I'm all about the mind. Why?
Yeah.
The mind tells the body what to do. The body's a messenger of the mind. Before I go and use and before I go do something stupid, my mind first tells me to do it before I actually go and do it, right? So we have to work on our mind. We have to get better with how to shift our mindsets. So all I'm doing all day long, I'm shifting my mindset. Negative, positive, growth, fix, abundant, whatever it is. My mindset's always changing. So real quick, my action word is the same every single day. That's transparency. Reason being, secrets are like anchors on a boat. What does an anchor do for the boat? Keeps it in place. There's 3 things I no longer keep a secret. One is my thoughts. Keep your thoughts a secret. They're going to destroy you. Gets real loud in my head. I don't know about you. And the only way to quiet what's going on in my head is to either get loud out my mouth or write it down on paper. I have to get it out of my head. Why? Because when it's loud in my head, I don't know about you, I say stupid things out my mouth. And when it's loud in my head, I don't know about you, I do stupid things with my behavior.
I don't need to have noise in my head to do stupid
Upstairs.
shit with my mouth.
Say it again?
I don't need to have noise in my head to do stupid shit with my mouth.
Okay.
It's usually noise out here that makes me do stupid shit.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Our environment definitely plays a factor. Good stuff. Way to add to that. So basically, your thoughts are going to destroy it. Has anyone ever come up with something in their mind, like a scheme or something they wanted to go do, and in their head it sounded perfect from beginning to end, but then go to tell somebody it out your mouth and you can't even get the words to come out?
That sounds psycho.
This is why you got to get the thoughts out of your head, because your thoughts are sounding different in your head than what they need to be. Just like with that scheme. So sometimes, if you marinated a steak 24 hours before cooking it, how much flavor is that steak going to have? A lot. Why? Because the flavor in what? Sunk into the steak. But if I marinate the steak 15 minutes before I cook it, is it going to have the same flavor? No. So if you keep your thoughts in your head, you're marinating your steak. The longer you keep the thoughts in your head, the deeper and deeper and deeper they go into your brain. But once you get the negative thought, if you release it, it's like you marinated your steak 15 minutes before. You're getting rid of it.
Good analogy.
So you got to find a way to get the thoughts out of your head. You can't just. I'm just curious. I used to just speak to myself all day long. I wouldn't pay attention though to how I was speaking to myself all day long. Are we listening to how we speak to ourselves all day long? Or are we just speaking to ourselves? Because if you could take a second and start listening to yourself, I'm curious, would you hang out with somebody that speaks to you the way you speak to yourself all day long? And if you could say no, no wonder you don't want to be with yourself right now. No wonder you don't want to be alone with yourself right now. Because look how you're speaking to yourself. But are we listening? What do you got?
To that point, though, you know how they say, like, the golden rule is to do unto others and do have them do unto you. That's why I would tell my clients that means that the platinum rule is you have to know how to treat yourself first. Because what's it going to look like if I treat other people the way I want to be treated, but I have no self-respect?
I agree. I think whatever's inside of us, we project outside of us. Right? So a lot of times, thank you. What I've learned in life, you guys live with a lot of people, right? So maybe learning people could be a benefit to us. People can only meet you where they've met themselves. What I mean is, if you are living with people and you're expecting them to do what they need to do, and they're not doing what they need to do for themselves, you're going to really get yourself messed up.
Right.
Really messed up.
Right.
This is what I believe causes stress.
That's a good point, Mike.
Stress, right? Everybody have stress? Just to let you know, without stress, we wouldn't succeed.
Lots of it.
So stress there's actually a benefit to it. But what I think causes our personal stress, right, is the gap between our expectations
That's so smart.
and our reality. This is what I mean, right? Let's say we expect the people around us to be a certain way. But reality is they haven't even learned how to be it for themselves. The bigger this gap, the larger the stress. If you could start understanding that people aren't going to meet you where they meet themselves, you could close this gap.
Wow.
For instance, expectations. I don't know how old you are, but I'm pretty sure when you were a kid, you expected yourself to have more than what you have right now. And we safe to say that. So that's what? An expectation. What is your reality? You're sitting in the seat that you're sitting in. So the bigger the gap of what you think you should have at this moment in your life, the expectation of what you think you should have in this moment in life compared to the reality of what you actually do have in this moment is creating stress in your life. We have to get back to the reality. You are where you are. And start losing some of the expectations of people and other things. You'll shorten the gap of your stress. What do you got?
So let me get this straight. So an expectation is the same as a preconceived idea that we may have individually, and that's what.
An expectation can be yes.
Sounds like it.
But an expectation could also be a lot of things. It could be entitlement. We could feel like we deserve it, so now I expect you to do your job.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So when we expect certain things compared to what the reality is of it, there's stress that forms from it. Yes. Good. So, second thing I don't keep a secret is my feelings. Reason being, they will consume you. If you're not letting anybody know what you're going through when you're alone, that feeling's going to take you out. Why? Because you think you got to fight that feeling alone. Because nobody knows you're going through it, you start to now feel that the feeling's greater than you. What do you got?
Can I get more guidance from you on how to journal your thoughts? Because I am my biggest self-destructor on my emotions, and if I allow that too much, it'll be overwhelming and it'll downward spiral. So what's a healthy way to journal your feelings without overdoing it? Do you see what I'm saying?
How to journal your feelings without overdoing it.
You like how do you get them out? Because I'm a songwriter. I start journaling my feelings, it's gonna be a fucking well of tears. You know what I mean? It's gonna go on, and I'm gonna have like a whole album by the time I'm done journaling.
Okay.
So how do I do it in a positive way where I actually am feeling now happy and positive at the end of it instead of like?
I don't always feel happy and positive at the end of my journal entries.
Okay.
My journal entries isn't sometimes to make me feel better. My journal entry is just to release what's inside of me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
always feel better right afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just write what's in my mind on a piece of paper.
Okay.
right.
When you write
Okay.
it down, put it in a box. You know.
So, second
That's
thing
what
I
I
don't
do.
keep secret is my feelings because they will consume you. The third thing I don't keep a secret is what I'm going through. Reason being, I'm really good at making a problem. I'm not that good at finding a solution. I'm just not. If I was good at finding a solution, I wouldn't have done 30 treatment facilities. I wouldn't have gone to jail for at least 10 years of my life if I was good at finding solutions. So the thinking that gets us in a problem is not going to be the thinking that gets you out of it. Because if your thinking got you in the problem, how are you going to get yourself out of it? We need other people's opinions and perspective. Me personally, I want normies to help me with my life. Why? Because they've gotten through their life without using drugs. They've dealt with pain. They've dealt with trauma. They dealt with death. They dealt with grief. They dealt with loss of job. They dealt with family members hating them, and they didn't pick up. I don't know why our community thinks only another addict can help another addict. You're selling yourself short. I want people that have never picked up drugs. Why? I want to know how you get through your shit, because I can't do it with drugs no more. Who better than a normie to teach you how to get through your life? They've never picked up. So maybe open up our minds to going maybe outside our community to get help. Our community is great for peer support. But there's a lot that our community, you could get limited by this community. You could get really just like stuck. And like where your life is just recovery all day long. No, I don't want my life to be recovery all day long. Then I'm always focusing still on my addiction. I eventually want to free myself. I eventually want to live a life where I'm not worrying about drugs. And I'm not always, feeding my recovery. I want to be able to just walk through life now. Like what? Like a normie.
Thank you.
So think about it. What do you got, Enoch?
We got a couple here. They locked their keys in their car.
Okay.
Is there anybody that can help them? I mean, they don't have money.
Ask Aaron.
They lock their keys in their car?
Ask Aaron.
Yes.
Ask Aaron.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we got a lot of criminals in here. I'm pretty sure people can figure some shit out. Oh, you tried?
I didn't know if you knew a cheap.
Cheap locksmith?
Yeah.
No, that's some paper too.
Ask Aaron.
That's like a buck. It's like a.
Yeah, and it's-
All right. So some life lessons.
Triple A.
They cost money.
So some life lessons. These life lessons are going to pertain to mindset. Change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. Change the way you look at things. The things that you look at will change. All right? So a different view is a different you. When you see yourself as a bad parent, when you see yourself as a felon, when you see yourself as a drug addict, when you see yourself as an alcoholic, when you see yourself as these negative condemnations, what do you think that does with the view of yourself? The I am is very powerful, yeah? What is your I am today? I'm a lowlife, I'm a degenerate, shoulda, woulda, coulda. What is your I am? Or I'm going to be a better person. I am going to get my kids back. I am going to work the job I want. Because we're great at talking about our problems. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. And those who love it eat the fruit therefore of it. I want to know how you're talking to your problems, though. We're real good at talking about our problems. This sucks, that sucks, and I got nothing against that. But how are you talking to your problems? Yeah, I'm broke. I ain't going to be broke forever, though. You know what? I hate my sober living. I'm going to get my own place and get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? How are we speaking to our problem? Because if we're just complaining,
Right.
does anybody know the difference? You had your hand up? Somebody?
I would say be careful what you're not praying for.
Yeah, I always say that. Does anybody know the difference between complaining and a complaint?
No.
There's a difference
No.
between the two. What do you got?
Complaining is just fucking making the fucking problem worse.
Amen. Very good.
Can we say that again? What do you say?
Complainers live forever. Whatever that means. And it's hard to fuck my head up, and you just fucked me up. All right. So, a complaint is I don't like this, followed by the solution to fix it.
Right.
So a complaint is healthy. You need to know what you don't like. Because if you don't know what you don't like, how are you going to make sure you get what you do want? But complaining is just saying what we don't like without the solution attached to it. The solution is me complaining. Why? The more I complain, the more I feel like the world owes me something because my life is so difficult. That's what the self-pity is. And that's what the victim is. We play that and then we start to think what? The world owes us something because of what we've been through. What do you got?
Dang, I have to sign this. Shoot. How's it come back?
Sure? I'm here all day. All right. So not everything that is faced can be changed. But nothing can be changed until it's faced.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Not everything that is faced can be changed. But nothing can be changed until it's faced.
Oh, faced.
Faced. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's my accent. I'm sorry. All right. So if I ask you what is a mindset, what would you tell me? Your personal definition.
Your fixed belief on something?
Fixed belief. Very good. Anybody else? What does it sound like it could be?
State of mind.
State of mind. Very good. Very good. It's definitely a state of mind.
Your perception of the situation.
Perception of a situation. Very good.
Motivation.
We could have a mindset that motivates us. Yes. No, it's the other one. It's determination. We want a mindset of determination, not motivation, but very good. So good. There's three major things that the mindset does for us. It's the way we think. It's the way we feel our feelings. And it's the way we behave. So what's one thing you got to change?
Not everything.
Not everything.
I'm going to do a debate with you and Charlie one day because you guys both say the opposite, and I always tell him,
Mindset's the only thing you got to change, and I'm going to show you
That's
why.
right.
If you're open-minded, you're thinking very positive. If you're open-minded, you're feeling optimistic. You got hope. You're open-minded.
Right.
And you're trying new things because, hey, you never know, it might work out. Closed-minded, I'm thinking very negative. Closed-minded, I'm feeling very pessimistic. I'm doubting everything. Closed-minded, I'm not doing new things because it didn't work for me in the past, so why would it work for me now? Do you see how my mindset dictated the way I think, the way I felt, and the way I behave? So, anybody got to change their thinking? Anybody got to change the way they feel feelings? Anybody got to change their behavior? Stop doing them individually. Because there's one thing that's controlling them.
Mindset.
It's your mindset, right? So a mindset is a collection of thoughts that become beliefs, that become habits then after that, right? So a mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you interpret. It's how we interpret and respond to situations. So I believe the foundation for everything, and it's just my belief, people we could talk about it, is this. Communication.
Right.
I'm going to show you what I mean. How are you communicating with your past? What I mean is, how are you speaking to your past? Because however you see your past, the mindset that you say you see it as wasted time. If you see your past as wasted time, how do you think you feel about yourself in the present?
That moving forward would be to no avail, like trying. There's no point in keeping on trying because
There you go.
based on past results, history, it's no use.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna ask me that. So look. So what I'm saying is, if you have a negative conversation with your past, you're not doing nothing in the present. If you have a negative conversation with your future, saying that you think your future's hopeless, what do you think you're doing in the present? Your capabilities aren't good enough. So how are you communicating with your pain? A bad conversation with your pain is taking you out. A good conversation with your pain, you're learning from it. You're getting wiser. A bad conversation with your past, you're defining yourself by your mistakes. I am an addict. I am an alcoholic. I am a bad person. If you are defining yourself by your mistakes, what do you think you're doing in the present? or thinking we can't make it better, right? If you have a good conversation with your past, that means you're learning from it. So then what does that mean you're doing in the present? You're getting better. Right? Somebody had their hand up? No?
Oh, I did.
Go ahead.
I'm like, I did. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people want to do that, but they don't have the tools. Like for me, I have a lot of trauma. And so, like, you know how close I'm with God. Like, I know God can, like, fix a lot of things, but there are certain things with my trauma that haven't got fixed yet, no matter how much I pray. So, like, what are tools that I can literally, like, do that? Because I want to change my mindset, but my trauma is holding me back so bad.
I can't change my mindset until I change the conversation.
Okay.
It's not like, all right, Mike, we're in this mindset. All right, let's get in this mindset. No, I got to change the way I'm speaking about a situation. Before I gotta find a silver lining in it, or I gotta find a lesson in it, or if I can't find nothing in it, then I either call someone or I leave it alone and I get back to it later. If I can't figure something out right now, I let it go. My mind doesn't stay on it too long no more. But if you have trauma, I'm not a therapist. A therapist will help you through trauma, right?
Thank you.
So, our mindsets are being dictated by our communication with whatever it is. So responding, for instance, if you grew up and you couldn't trust nobody, you have a mindset that what? People are not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Because of that mindset, do you see how you will interpret how things are happening with you with people and how you will respond to people now? Because we have the mindset that we can't trust no one. If you have the mindset that you are not smart enough, you're going to interpret when you don't know something that you're doing it wrong.
Right.
If you have the mindset that you can't learn nothing, when someone's telling you how to get better, your response is going to be negative to them. Our mindsets are dictating. So if you right now are going through something and you're just not it's messing you up, or you're responding badly to it, you got to find the mindset you have towards it. Right? Attitude, mindset, same thing. What is your attitude towards failure? What do you got?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to make it all, like, relate, but I know that, okay, so I'll tie it all together later on. But there's this thing called, like, Zeno's paradox of motion.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
Have not heard of it. Talk to me.
All right. So it's kind of like, I guess, a mindset. So the paradox is, like, so you're trying to reach from one side of the room to the other, right? That's your goal. But like, how long would it take to do that? If you take one step forward, like 2 steps forward and 1 step back, 2 steps forward and 1 step back, like how long would it take for you to reach the other side?
Okay.
Yeah, like, even if you got like very, 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 very close, you just would never reach it because, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm doing in everyday life.
I get what you're saying, but I believe 2 steps forward, 1 step back is the mindset that we should have for life.
Pennsylvania 2-step.
Reason. No, it's all right. You probably said it right. People have difference of opinions. What I've learned in my life on the healing journey is that this is not peaches and cream. I'm still going to make mistakes even though I'm trying to be my best. Right? And because I'm still going to make mistakes even though I'm trying to be my best, I take 2 steps forward and then I'm making a mistake. But look at it for a second. If we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, well, it's still further than when we started. I'm more about progress than I am about the finish line.
Because you're in the mindset to take those 2 steps forward in the first place.
I have the mindset to accept the 1 step back. I'm not doing the 1 step back on purpose. I have the mindset that when I do slide back on this journey, I have a lot, that it's only a step back, learn, and now go 2 steps forward again. I don't let this step back be a fallback. I let the step back make a comeback.
That's right.
So you see the mindset? You're still moving, and that's all I care about. Do not mistake movement for progress, though. You could jog in place all day. Where'd you go? Nowhere. But you were moving, right? So we have to be more conscious of the intention behind our movements. Because right now, you might be doing a million things and nothing might not even be changing. And that might be because maybe the intention and the motive behind why you're doing it isn't right. So remember, busy people want to be what? Great at the important things. Productive people want to be great at the important things. Busy people want to be good at everything. So what are the important things you need to be great at? What I found, there was 3 things before I found Christ. I had to be great at learning from failure. If you could get great at learning from failure, you will be probably more successful than 90% of the people around you. Got to get great at learning. I got to get great at learning new things. And I got to get great at putting the right effort in. All that other shit is non-essential to me. I got to get great at learning from failure. I got to get great at learning, period. And I got to get great where I put my effort. I don't need to be good at a million things. I need to be great at those things. Do you know what things you need to be great at? Or are we trying to be good at everything right now? You don't need to be good at everything right now. You need to be great at the important things. What's the important things you got to get great at? Now that I walk with Christ, I got to get great at praying, great at reading, great at repenting, and great at serving. Those 4 things, I got to get great. I get great at those 4 things. That's what builds my relationship with Christ.
Amen.
My personal relationship. I do that in His name, not to get blessed by Him. I do that in His name to get to know Him.
Amen. Yeah.
The blessing is the fact that I get to know Him. If you believe in Jesus, the blessing isn't what He's given you. The blessing is the opportunity that now you have the fact for Him to actually give it to you. I'm starting to fall in love with the opportunity of knowing Him. That's where my relationship is going with Him right now. Just the opportunity I get to know Him, I'm in love with that. So you know how abundance comes? When you fall in love with things like that.
Right.
Abundance can't come to you until you first have enough. What is abundance? More than enough. So how are we going to get abundance if right now you don't think you have enough? If you don't feel blessed right now, you're never going to feel blessed. The things don't make us feel blessed. Who you're becoming and the things that you're getting an opportunity to do should make you feel blessed. Right. The fact that you're able to wake up, right, and most of you's got your health. How many of our friends won a day? How many of our friends are fucked up from the floor up? Right? We're able to walk. That's a blessing. All right? So a mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you interpret and respond to situations. How you make sense of the world and yourself. Your mindset is how you make sense of this and yourself. So could there be a possibility that maybe you're looking at that the wrong way and it's messing you up today? Are you looking at that like it's out to get you? Or is it coming at you? Is it personal? Or is there a purpose behind what you're going through? It's very important. What do you got?
Okay, so I love your class, by the way, and I love everything you talk about. This is my favorite verse in the Bible, and I would love to see how you interpret it, because I feel like this has a lot to do with it. It's do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I think you said that before, so I'd love to know your interpretation on it.
So do not conform to the patterns of the world is basically following trends, right? Doing things the way other people were doing. But when Paul was speaking to the Romans, they were very political, right? So they followed rules, the regulate of the world. So Jesus was telling them, do not conform to their patterns. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But we can't change our mind. If we could, we would. Right? So with Jesus, you got to first let Jesus into your heart before He's going to transform your mind. Only Jesus could change. Jesus has changed my mind. It wasn't me that changed it. So that verse is, don't conform to that. Think differently than that. So think differently than what the world says, meaning success. World says success is money and status. My success is peace and joy. If I got peace and joy, I'm successful, right? So you see how do not conform. It's just looking at things differently, all right? So how you interpret and respond to situations and how you make sense of the world and yourself. So is there a possibility that maybe the way you're looking at yourself could be making it more difficult for yourself today? Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility the view of yourself, who you think you are and what you're capable of, do you think that it could have a possibility of maybe why you're not getting things done today? Because attitude creates behavior. I say it all the time. When I got locked up, guess who had to change their attitude? Yeah. Why? Because my behavior had to change. I was about to go to jail. So when we get in recovery, you can't have the same attitude towards people than you did on the street. The same attitude towards the world than you did on the street. Go ahead.
I already said it's my association to making money is like, has always been you know, being close to my, I guess my mom, you know, my nuclear family.
Okay.
So, like, being this far away all this time, I still can't get off the proverbial T.
Mm.
You know, and
There you go.
yes.
But you're aware of it. So now you got something that now you can work on it. If we don't know better, we can't do better. That's why most people don't read the Bible. Because when you read the Bible, you start seeing things about yourself you got to change, and people don't like that. So they'll rather close the Bible, go to service on a Sunday, listen to worship music, and call themselves a Christian.
But God is not mocked.
If you are not reading the Bible, it's very difficult
Right.
for you to hear God's voice. I'm
Right.
telling you that. What you got?
Right.
So I'm that proverbial fool in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, that checks out. But go ahead. Oh, he knows I'm joking.
Yes, you said interpret and respond like the fool will hate you if you rebuke him.
Very
Or
good.
reprove him, but the wise will gain wisdom.
Very good.
Amen.
Very good.
So I'm
That's a
like that
mindset.
fool. You couldn't tell me shit. I knew everything.
Mhm.
You know, and then I ended up drunk all the time.
So your mind got transformed. Yeah, good
But
stuff. What do you got?
honestly,
One of my favorite verses in the Bible is 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I was a child, I thought as a child, spoke as a child, and did as a child. But whenever I become a man, I put away childish things.
Amen.
Nice.
Amen. That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that. So essentially, your mindset is a unique lens in which you see life. So for instance, if I went around this room right now and I asked you, what is your perception of reality? Meaning, what does this mean to you? We're going to get different answers, right?
can you get people's answers? I want to know.
We're going to get different answers. But yet we all live on the same planet. We all live on the same planet, but we'll give different perceptions of reality. So what that told me is that the world we're living in is not what you're seeing. The world that we're living in, we're creating in our mind, and our eyes are allowing us to see it. So if you create a negative world where you can't trust nobody and everyone's out to get you and nobody cares about you, and that's the world you create in your mind, guess what you start seeing with your eyes? People's behavior that makes you think that you're right.
Oh, that's,
You start proving it
That's
to
so-
yourself. That's what I realize. What I realize is whatever I'm telling myself in my head, my eyes are going to see it. Whatever you're seeking, you're going to find it. So if you are focused on your problems as problems, what do you think you're attracting? Because whatever you focus on, you attract.
energy is real.
Energy. So if you're focusing on this world is out to get you, what are you going to attract? You're going to see that it's coming at you.
Right.
Even though it might not be.
100%.
You're going to create that reality
Yes.
because it's in our mind. So now when I'm seeing things in a way that's negative, I have to stop seeing it that way and start changing it in my
Right,
mind.
right.
I've gotten to the place where I could do that, but in the beginning I couldn't. I had to the more you repeat a thought, the more it becomes a belief. So, positive affirmations, right? It's manipulation, by the way. It's
Good
straight.
manipulation?
It's straight manipulation. Why? What is manipulation?
Manipulating matters.
Manipulation is I'm telling you what I think you need to hear in order for me to get something out of you I want. Right? We agree on that?
Are you saying it has to always be negative?
No, I'm going to show you how it's positive.
Okay.
Manipulation, the definition of it is to do something in a skillful manner. So when I'm manipulating people, I'm lying to them, right? I'm lying to them to get something out. Just be honest. When I first started doing positive affirmations, I was lying to myself.
No, yeah, for sure.
I did not believe I was beautiful. I did not believe I was smart. I did not believe these things. But the more I kept repeating it, anybody ever start believing their own lies?
Yes.
Why?
We all, this whole room.
What? But what? Because we kept repeating it. So the more you say it again, it becomes a habit. So right now, your negative belief system might be a result of a thought you keep repeating. So if we're not paying attention to how we're speaking to ourselves, how are you catching those thoughts to change your belief system? So that's why I started writing down all my negative thoughts when I was in treatment. I was writing them down on a piece of paper. There's something called NTT, negative thought time, believe it or not. It's a study that they did, and what people do is they write their negative thoughts down when they're having them, and then they leave them alone, and they go back to them later on in the night. The reason they go back to them later on in the night is because they're not as negative when they go back to them later on in the night. They start to see that it wasn't that big of a deal. But what I'm saying is, you might be telling yourself, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. Guess who proves it to themselves? You. Thoughts become words. Words become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. I will prove it to you. Start thinking about doing just one. Guess who's going to start talking about doing just one? Guess who's going to try just one? Guess who's not doing just one? Guess who's an addict again? And guess whose destiny is dark? Now let's do it the other way. Start thinking that you want to become a better person. I bet some of you are starting to talk about wanting to become a better person. I bet some of you are starting to act like a better person. I bet some of you are actually becoming a better person. And I bet some of your future is starting to look better than it did not too long ago. Do you see how it all started with a thought? It all started with a thought. So we got to try to pay a little bit more attention to our thoughts. What do you got?
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm an opposite of that you said I can do this, or I can't do this. I have a testimony about that. So when I got to rehab, I thought I could not do it no matter what. And then Eric, the therapist, he told me, okay, I couldn't do I am affirmations, and he said, just start with this. I can do this. And literally after one day saying it one time in the mirror, I was able to get up and do it every morning.
Okay.
Just for one time, saying it in the mirror to myself.
Bruce Lee has a quote. Be careful of the words you cast, because casting words are like casting spells. That's why it's called spelling. So that's what I'm saying. What's coming out your mouth throughout the day? How are we speaking to the things we're going through? How are we speaking about the things we want to do? How are we speaking about what has happened to us? It might seem monotonous. Might not seem like anything, and that's fair. I think it's everything, though.
I think it's everything.
I think communication with self is everything. Your self-talk is the program you install into your computer, which is your brain. Before you went into Walmart, I see you. Before you went into these stores to go boost, were you walking in there, oh, I'm going to get caught? Or you walking in, oh, I'm going to get the fucking bag?
I'm getting the fucking bag.
And every time we said that, did you get the bag?
Exactly.
Bag. So what I'm saying
bag,
is,
it's
when
a
you
cart.
wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, how are you speaking to? Oh, another fucking day of this. Is that how we're waking up? Because I used to wake up like this. Oh, another day with this fucking roommate. Another day with this person. So as soon as I wake up, I'm already what? Death. Death coming out of my mouth.
Right.
So now what? My mindset is done. And my mindset dictates the way I think, the way I feel, and the way I behave. When you wake up, you got to get your mindset right. Whatever that looks like for you. For me, it's praying, it's reading, and it's journaling. That's my way. How will you get? Some people can meditate. Some people could cook. Some people could go for a run, exercise. How will you get in your mind right in the morning? Because you are not responsible for the thoughts that come in your head. Because if we were, we would stop them. So what I'm saying is, I see you. What I'm saying is, when you're thinking about getting high, you're not responsible for that thought. You're responsible what you do with that thought. But if you make yourself responsible for the thought of wanting to get high, when you get the thought, you think you're doing something wrong, and now you talk down to yourself. If we could stop thoughts from coming in our head, you know how much shit I wouldn't be thinking about throughout the day? You can't. So stop trying to stop the thought from coming in. And now what is going to be the mindset for when that thought does come in that will allow you to get through it? You're responsible for what you do with your thoughts. You're not responsible for your thoughts. You're not. Because if that was the case, I'm pretty sure a lot of you wouldn't be thinking about the shit that you're thinking about right now. So you can't get rid of it. I'll have her in the back first. What you got?
Wasn't that yesterday? Yeah, to that point, that's why, like, you know, marketing and branding is so big.
June
on the
12th.
Like, Nike doesn't say,
Yep.
oh, try it, it's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali was floating the butterfly sting like the bee.
Life
And
and
also, that's why when I pray, because I know I used to struggle a lot with anxiety, I would end it with, like, and so it is this or something better, so that I know that if I don't get what
That's
I
good.
want, it's because there's a big.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
And,
Social anxiety.
That's a great mindset.
So your communication created a mindset.
And to your point, like I always tell myself, I can't stop a thought on me, but I have control over whether or not I let it set up here. Like, we all get upset, and it's like we might think, oh, I don't like that person, but we have a choice of whether or not we unpack that thought and start plotting and scheming of getting them back, or just being like, okay, I see it, acknowledge this thought, but obviously plotting on our side wouldn't be good, so it's just kind of like, one of the meditation techniques is just kind of letting each thought pass, like a cloud floating by, just let it come, but you don't have to entertain it and unpack it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll prove it to you that you can't stop a thought from coming in your head. Do not think about a bee flying to a flower right now.
Crap. Boom.
Were you able to stop that thought from coming in your head?
Yes, because I looked at a fucking visual.
There you go.
Of something else.
Very good. What I'm saying is, some of us weren't able to stop it. So don't beat yourself up on what you're thinking about. Get better at changing it and making a better habit from it. It takes a lot of energy to accept the things you cannot change. You know what you can't change? How thoughts coming in your head. What we can change is what we do with the thought. What do you got?
Okay, so
And then I
this
got
is
you.
like crazy important. When I was in theology school, I had this awareness that our subconscious thoughts are running while we sleep.
Yeah.
And so if we don't literally listen to things before we sleep that are positive, we're not counteracting our subconscious minds. And that's why I have such a big heart for other addicts or people that have gone through traumatic experiences. Like, we're already at a disadvantage because of our past traumas, because they like replay in our head when we're sleeping, and it's like we have no control over it, right? So it's like we're already kind of like back, like what's the word, like we're already a step back with it. So we have to counteract that. It's like while we're sleeping. That's like, that tripped me out. So now every night before I go to sleep, I'm listening to something positive.
Very good.
Whether it's preaching or something.
I mean, we've all fell asleep, and whatever you left if you left the TV on while you're sleeping, has anyone had a dream of what was going on the TV, or woke up and it was going on the TV?
Yes.
So the brain is still awake at times when we're sleeping. Very good. What do you got?
Yeah.
There's something called intrusive thoughts.
There you go.
Yeah, and it can be like shameful or disturbing, and everyone has them every now and then, and it's just you can't act on them.
Yeah, that's it. Intrusive means I didn't want it. Right? And 100%, I wake up with intrusive thoughts every morning. Every morning. And what God, and this is what God told me. I'm like, yo, God, what's up, bro? I'm like, yo, I'm like, listen, this is not cool. You know what God said? What are you upset about? You weren't even in control that you woke up. So these thoughts ain't your own. Use me to get through these thoughts. That's why I'm giving them to you.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So now I wake up with these intrusive thoughts. I give them straight to God. I'm like, yo, God, you woke me up. Here's your thoughts back, bro. There they go. Take them back. I don't communicate with them.
I love it.
And that's the problem. I used to communicate with my intrusive thoughts as if they were my own.
Because your feelings lie to you.
Yes. So try not to communicate as long.
I like that.
We're still going to talk to them, right? But your feelings will let you know when you're going too deep with your intrusive thoughts. Your anxiety's going to amp up. Your doubt's going to amp up. Your frustration's going to amp up. The feelings we don't like amplify when you're communicating with something in a way you shouldn't.
100%.
That's what it is.
100%.
My negative feelings is a result of my communication with something. My negative feelings is not you. My negative feelings is how I'm responding to you. Right? So I always bring it back to myself. What do you got?
Well, the scripture says that when there's a lot of anxiety, a dream comes.
Okay. A lot of anxiety, a dream comes. Okay. Hello?
I have a question.
Sure.
Why is it that you always bring it back to yourself?
Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to have to rely on myself at that. And I am... My choices end me up where I end up. Yeah. Good question, though. Anybody else? You guys have an opinion on that? Why do you think we should always bring it back to ourselves?
Because recovery is selfish.
Very good.
I think
You gotta be selfish in recovery, though.
I appreciate how transparent you are, because I know as a songwriter, like, like sharing my emotions with the world. Like people are like, oh, I love your song, but I had to go through a lot to freaking write that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you as a human being that you're transparent and you talk about it because I know it's hard, and so I appreciate that because it's like a testimony.
Yes. What happens when we're blaming other people? What are we not doing when we're blaming other people?
Taking your time.
There you go. So that's why I always bring it back to me. Yes.
Oh, I know one.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying it's a good question there. So fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, the belief that the abilities and talents are unchangeable. So fixed mindset, you believe that there's things about you that are unchangeable.
Ooh. Are those like core beliefs?
No, core beliefs is something... No.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
What is something about you you don't think you could change?
Having stubborn ways and being set in your ways.
Very good. So that mindset will keep you fixed. For instance, this water bottle is fixed. Where is it going?
Down your...
Nowhere.
Oh.
That water bottle is going nowhere. It is fixed in that place. A fixed mindset is going to make you not be able to go anywhere. So if you think that there's things about you that are unchangeable, you're going to stay fixed in that place. Why would we feel that there's things about us that we can't change?
Because they're too hard to actually overcome, or we don't want to.
Because we're scared of change.
Very good. We're scared of change. Or maybe you're like me. You tried and you failed at it.
Maybe because you got so much to change that the amount of work is exhausting.
Okay, that could do it
It's
too.
not hard to really want that change. It's not hard to work with everyone.
I know, I'm just telling why.
No, yeah.
No, I feel like
Very good. So the reason why I thought I couldn't change is because I tried and I failed.
Exactly.
And because I tried and I failed, I thought I couldn't change. So then Jesus came to me and said, well, let's look at why you're failing, though. I was failing because I had the wrong plan.
Yeah.
I had the wrong people in my life. I didn't have the right effort in my life. So what I started to see was the things that I thought were unchangeable, I can change. I have to change the way I'm doing it in order to change it.
You have to start yourself first.
Always. So if there's something about you that you can't change, you're going to stay in a fixed mindset. It's going to hold you in place. You're going to succeed in areas of your life, and whatever this is always going to pop up at the best moments when life is getting good. You notice when life's getting better, you start getting hit with things, right? That when you're getting hit with things because life is getting better, life wants to keep getting better. That's why it's keep hitting you with things. Because, yes, the devil is a liar.
I think it's
because
100%.
life is always changing. Can we agree with that?
100%.
Fashion changes, technology changes, food changes. If we don't change with everything else, we're going to get what? Left behind.
Mike, I like how you said that, like, everybody's going through something. Like, I think that's important for us to stop and remember, like, we're not the only ones going through shit. Everybody.
Oh no, everybody. If you ain't going through some, I'm gonna pray that you do. Because going through something, strength is developed in struggles, not in wins.
You gotta go through something to say you've been through something.
Amen.
When you go through something, you know you're doing something.
Yeah. And then when you go through something, you start to get purpose.
Okay?
You start to see the purpose in going through things. So now when you're going through something, you might not like it, but you appreciate it. I don't like some of the things I'm going through right now behind the scenes.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. Because going through it is challenging my character. It's making me have to reach out and ask people for help. Even though I don't like the way it feels, because I have an ego and I'm a legend in my own mind. Right?
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I'm dying to self. God's humbling me. There's parts of my character that He's working on that I can't see, but you will see.
And then you can preach to more people because you've gone through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that.
With the guy at church?
No.
No, it's fixed.
Believe it or not, that act, God just, I was praying for forgiveness.
Yeah.
I was harboring resentment in my heart. Every time I succeeded, it was like, fuck you, look what you passed up on, right? And then I ran into him, and it was like a blissful moment. I actually been attending Bible studies. Me and his son reconnected. We were good friends. We're starting to hang out again. So God showed me that forgiveness also means becoming friends with people again. Not everybody, but this specific group. Yeah. So thank you for asking. Fixed mindset is the belief that the ability and talents are fixed and unchangeable. So people with a fixed mindset, listen, They avoid challenges and they give up easily. Why? Because they don't think they could change. So if there's a challenge in your life that you're avoiding, there's probably part of you that you don't think you could change to overcome the challenge. So in order to embrace a challenge, that does not mean you're going to conquer it. Embracing the challenge means that you're willing to learn why you see it as a challenge first.
And then you'll get the steps to learn
Yes.
how to conquer.
And then you find somebody to help you get through it. For instance, everybody knows where the top of Mount Everest is, right? It's on the top of the mountain. Do you know how to... Listen, but wait.
Are you sure?
But wait. But do you know how to get up there? No. Because there's not just one route up. They're going up the mountain like this. There's detours. So if you want to go up Mount Everest, you must first find what?
A guide.
A tour guide. Who is your tour guide taking you up your mountains? Even though you know where the top is, we don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
There's detours, there's obstacles, there's boulders. So everybody should have someone in their life that's their tour guide, a mentor, a sponsor, a spiritual leader. If you are doing this alone, it's going to take you longer. For instance, if you were building a house for yourself.
Magic carpet.
Magic carpet, okay. If you were building a house for yourself, by yourself, how long would it take you to build that house?
Very long.
A very long time. But if you hired people to help you build that house, how quickly would that house be built? How many of you are trying to build your house on your own?
Ooh, that's good, Mike.
I can build it.
I believe you can.
That's good.
And your Enoch is Noah's grandfather. Noah took him 110 years. Took Noah 110 years to build the ark. It might take you just as long to build your house. What I'm saying is, do you have plumbers? Do you have carpenters? Do you have painters? Do you have electricians? Do you have people that know how to build a house helping you build your house? Or are you building your house on your own? I got this. I messed my life up. I'm going to make it better. Why? So I could show everybody they were wrong about me. I don't look to prove people wrong. I look to prove the right people right. Different mindset. People could say I can't do nothing. Cool, I ain't proving you wrong. I'm going to prove the person right that said I could do it. So my focus is on the people that are supporting me. My focus is not on the people that's telling me I can't do it. Why? Because I'm moving in love today. If you are trying to prove people wrong, there's hate. That's hate that's driving you, not love. Why? I told you you couldn't do it. You got upset. You got angry. And now you're going to prove me wrong. Right where the devil wants you. Your own ambition is driving you instead of your ambition with God. So when you try to prove somebody wrong and you do what they said you couldn't do, and they don't give you the validation, do you know you get even more mad?
Yep.
And you just did what they said they couldn't. You throw that in the garbage because now you're upset that they didn't say it was wrong. I see you. But now prove somebody right. And how much more praise will you get if you did something that somebody said you could do?
But that's when you say, fuck what the next motherfucker gotta say about me.
Facts.
I'm gonna do what I know is best for me. And if they don't like it, oh well, get accepted.
There you go. What do you got?
I appreciate what you're saying. I had, but here's my story. Like, I wanted to be a singer, but I didn't believe in myself. I only had one person who believed in me, and I had 100 haters. And that, to me, it was motivation. It wasn't a negative motivation, but it was like, no matter what people said about me that I wasn't going to succeed, I knew in my heart, God told me if I gave him my all, that he would give me the grace to move me forward. My song ended up going #1.
Good shit.
Yeah, so it's on every single platform. I was listening in 78 countries in 1 year. I toured 32 countries in 6 weeks. So, and it was all because of the one person. That's why I like what you said. It's all because of that one person who believed in me. Because I didn't think I could do it at all. But that one person, like, I was like, I prayed, and then God helped me.
Yes? Listen, having one person by your side is really all you really need sometimes to get through things.
Yeah.
So, fixed mindset thinks that you can't change things. So if there's things about you can't change, you got to develop a growth mindset. What is a growth mindset? Effort, learning, perseverance. I don't see money here. I don't see any of that here. What I see is what I have to put in.
Right.
Right? A growth mindset means that this is how you're going to get the things you want. That this is how you're going to get the things you want. That this is how you're going to get the things you want.
What about surrendering, Mike?
It's all in there, yeah.
Okay.
This is just pertaining to this.
Okay.
So, effort, learning, and perseverance. These are things that I have to be great at. These are the things I have to be great at. So, could you possibly not be putting enough of this in right now?
Or the right.
Or the right effort. Very good. Very good. So, where is this going? Yesterday. Where was this yesterday? Where was this yesterday? Where did you put this yesterday? Where did your effort go yesterday? Very good. Very good. But that's what I'm saying. So now if you did that yesterday, you do it again today, now you're building.
It's like
There you go.
put effort in to wanting to get higher.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Over,
Right.
then
Good. What did you learn yesterday? What did you study yesterday?
The big book.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I did a big book study in conflict resolution skills.
Very good. What did you have to persevere through yesterday? Very good. What I'm saying is that this is my mindset. That if I want to get something, I have to put in the effort. If I want to get something, I have to learn how to get it. And if I want to get something, I got to keep going until I get it. You see the mindset? You see what now with failure happens here? With this, failure becomes the acronym. First attempt in learning. Because of this mindset, in order to get it, failure is teaching me how to get it. In order to get it, I must learn from failure. In order to get it, I must persevere through failure. So my definition of success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. That's what makes me successful. Not the money, not the car, not the status, not the titles. That's not my success. The reason I'm getting to do that is because I've learned how to fail and keep going. Anyone that's successful, they're successful because they can learn from failure. And they can learn from other people's failure.
Most millionaires lost it all.
I got you next.
When I was at 8 the other night, like I told everybody, it doesn't matter. It could be 1,000 no's, 1,000,000 no's, or whatever, but that one yes is what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Don't get deterred on the 1,000,000 no's. Just keep on going with that one yes.
Right.
Look at me at one yes.
Amen. And I will prove your theory correct. I always left with a woman. Every club I went to.
What did you just say?
Not because I was good looking, because I spoke to every woman in the club. Right? So law of average. Law of average. Law of average. The more no's you get, the sooner, the quicker you are to a yes. I'm being dead ass. Hold on. Go where you got me.
Because you knew you could.
No, because there had to be at least one that's gonna like me, right?
Okay, I'm gonna put myself out there, and one of these females is called.
Yes, and then look what happens with the word no. N-O.
One says no, another says yes.
Next opportunity. So when I went up to a girl, she said no. I said thank you because I didn't waste money on drinks on her, and I just kept going. Always left with a shorty. So what I'm saying is, the more you put yourself out there, the better of an opportunity if you have something coming in. If you're only putting yourself out there here and there, your opportunities are limited. So what I'm saying is, go out there and hear the word no. The more you hear no, the closer to a yes you're going to get. The dude from Starbucks, I tell you guys all the time, he was told no 269 times before he got the first bank loan. Just like he said, you think he cared about the no's? No, once he got that first yes and opened up that first Starbucks, now look.
Wow.
So are you willing to hit 269 no's to get your yes? Because if I told you you're 1,000 no's from getting everything you've ever wanted, how quickly you want to hear them no's?
Quick.
You see how the mindset just changed the way you look at the word no?
Good job, man.
What do you got?
That's good stuff.
James Earl Jones, a lot of people don't know that he was told he would never make it in voiceover because he had a really bad stutter and speech
Okay.
impediment. But then he started focusing on the people and said, hey, you're not the first one with a speech impediment. Take some lessons. And of course he became the voice of Darth Vader.
That's so cool.
Everything. Oh, he's the voice.
Awesome.
Led Zeppelin, the reason why they got their name but they started looking at, okay, well, what do we need to improve so that we don't suck? And then when they finally gave themselves a name, that's why they called themselves Led Zeppelin.
What does
Yeah.
Zeppelin mean?
Zeppelin is like a
That's so cool.
So, and you guys have heard the name Walt Disney before, right?
Yeah, what about it?
You know, Walt Disney was fired from his newspaper because they said he didn't have an imagination.
Whoa.
Hey,
What the freaking heck?
Just
One
saying.
hell of an imagination.
Just saying.
I'll bet
What?
that.
Yeah, one hell of an imagination.
But that, what I'm trying to say is, people don't know anything. If you want to do it, you got to keep going and do it. People's opinion can't be what's going to get you to do it and not do it at times. It has to be you, right? So a positive mindset. So fixed mindset, we think we're unchangeable. Growth mindset, to develop a growth mindset, this is all you have to do, is focus on these three things. If you focus on these three things, you will develop a growth mindset. But this has to be the foundation of the mindset. Effort, not outcome. Learning, not knowing it. Perseverance, not making it easy. It's a different mindset. Life's not going to get easier. People tell you that, ask them to prove it. You're going to get stronger. Life's not going to get easier. My life's not easier. I'm stronger today. I'm able to withhold more. I'm smarter today. My life did not get easier. I've gotten stronger. You can't make your life easier. We tried. Didn't we?
Yeah.
How'd it work out?
Not good.
So stop trying to make life easy and start getting stronger. Start doing your mental push-ups. Start getting stronger. Start fighting life. We can't make life where it's going to... I believe God does not let us see life like this. The reason I don't think God lets us see life like that is because we would run and we don't need Him. This is what God does. He diverts us. Why? So we stay with Him on the path. We don't need Him if He shows us the whole path. He showed us it. Go run and get it. He's only going to show you enough to get you through the day. What I realized, strength that comes from God, He gives us enough to get through the day. Us as humans want to feel the strength for the rest of our lives today. We want to feel like we could beat this for the rest of our lives, and we want that strength today to convince us that we could do it for the rest of our lives. What God is saying is, I'm going to give you the strength to get through the day. Every day you wake up, I'm going to give you the strength to get through the day. Keep getting through your days. I don't have a dream. I am not chasing a dream. I've found my destiny, so it's different. I'm not chasing fantasies no more. And since I'm not chasing fantasies, I don't have certain desires no more. And since because I don't have certain desires, I don't struggle with my struggles anymore. I still have struggles. I just don't struggle with them. Our desires of money, our desires of sex, our desires of status, our desires of the things we want are causing more problems into our lives. So sometimes you got to take a step back and check your desire. Check your dream. Check what you're chasing, because you might be going in the wrong direction. You might be just chasing a feeling instead of actually becoming something better. Okay. We're real good at chasing feelings. I want my happiness to be a result after a result. What I mean is, I want to get happy after I put this in and I got what it was I was looking for. Then I want my happiness. Yeah.
Happiness is dependent on me and nobody else.
You think happiness is a choice or something that's given to us?
A choice.
Very good. We choose our happiness. We think we need A, B, and C to be happy. If you need A, B, and C to be happy, if you only have A and B, you're still going to be miserable. So you want to choose happiness, not make it given, meaning you want to choose to be happy. So a positive mindset is focusing on the good in yourself and the world, being optimistic, and believing in your ability to achieve goals. I used to look at things, and as soon as I would see something, my mind would automatically find the fault in everything. Every time I looked, oh, that's wrong, this wrong, that's wrong. That's a negative mindset. I'm still kind of like that. But when I'm doing it, I stop myself and I get out of it. Does anybody remember the definition of relapse? The deterioration of improvement. Once you find yourself in a negative self-talk, once you find yourself in a negative mindset, you got to get yourself out. Because it's only a matter of time. Remember, the drug use is not a relapse. Drug use and alcohol use is a result. It's a result. It's not a relapse.
Relapse is mental.
Relapse happens it's a deterioration of improvement. It happens way before we pick up.
2 weeks before we pick up.
It may 2 weeks. I've never heard of a time frame, but I believe it.
I spent half a day trying to remember that word deterioration.
There you go.
I thought of every other D word, and I was
Whoa.
at work, and I could not remember deterioration.
Yeah. Pause. No. Yeah. It's the deterioration of improvement. So listen. If you look at things and you find the fault in it, you have to stop and find something good in it. You got to stop when you're looking at things and you're seeing them as negative and you're talking negative. We got to start getting better at stopping. Like, you know what? Yeah, this place sucks, but you know what? I'm getting the opportunity to get better. You see how you just went from a negative to a positive? Not taking away that the place sucks. It probably sucks, but there's still good in it that you could find. So we want our minds to start looking for the good in things. Start looking for the good in things. Things will change. I like this one, an entrepreneur mindset. Means that you're creative, resourceful, and looking for new opportunities. It's a good mindset to practice. Practice a creative mindset. If an entrepreneur wants to create a product that's what? Resourceful. Why? Because they want to make money. How resourceful are you becoming for those around you?
So Galileo, when he found America, he was looking for a shortcut to the East Indies.
Okay.
But he ended up going the opposite direction, west. So he had a belief the world was round. And everybody was, at that time, the superstition the earth was
Flat.
And then you fall off the edge of the earth.
Yeah.
So in spite of that, he had the belief and he went for it. And then we all think he's an alcoholic because he asked the woman for the resources. And he went to the Queen Elizabeth, Queen of Spain, and went one time, came back with a few Indians and a few trinkets. And then the second time he went, the first time he went on that boat, he had a bowboy with a lantern, just in case the edge of the world showed up and he could turn around. Second time was faith. The first time was a belief. The second time was faith. It was the forefront knowledge that the world was round, and so he didn't need that bowboy with the lantern.
Maybe he asked a woman because a woman is known as wisdom. Her mic's.
So wisdom is described as a woman in the Bible because men chase women. So God describes wisdom as a woman because God wants men to chase wisdom like we chase women.
Well, wisdom is Sophia, and Sophia was in the creation of the world. He says that.
Where?
It
says in the Bible?
Wisdom was in the foundation of the world.
Wisdom was with God before the creation of the world. Yes. I didn't know it actually a name. You got to show me that scripture where there's a name.
Sophia is referred to in the fucking Kabbalah too.
And what?
The Ein Sof is the fucking highest form of attainment.
Okay. What is it coming from? That
the Ein Sof, the Sophia. The idea that Sophia is like, it's every philosophy has Sophia in it.
Okay.
The idea that wisdom came from it's the Sophia, it's redundant around the id.
Okay.
It's Jungian. That's where, he's saying it's biblical, but it's Jungian.
Okay.
It's psychology, it's parapsychology.
It also says wisdom is a her.
Okay.
In problem.
Yes, that's what we were talking about. The reason that it's described as a woman is because men chase women. So God wants men to chase wisdom like men chase women. So that's why wisdom is described as a she. What?
I said folly is a her too.
What?
I said folly is a her too.
It's folly is described as a woman because men chase that too. Yeah.
It's an archangel, like archangel mind.
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Mind self is referred to as a female also.
Yeah, she showed me. Sophia is the Greek word for wisdom.
She's the original goddess.
It said that Sophia was with God at the beginning.
No, that is the myth. Yeah, no, he brought it up. We're just speaking about it to get a better understanding. Yeah.
I think it's pretty accurate, bro. Like,
okay.
Especially if you go with the model of we're not like. So what they say is that Sophia gave birth to this, like, without the main creator being like
present
permission.
Okay.
She gave birth to this thing, that made all of this.
Okay.
Made the material world. So like, and that's why you can't get around suffering. So, and that's also why. That's also why they say that the God in the Old Testament isn't the God that Jesus is talking about.
Okay.
The God that made this Matrix prison thing that we live in, okay, that we probably just keep reincarnating back to. Fucking was evil.
Okay.
That's why there's no getting around suffering and all this other. But then again, I think about that, and I think about what you get out of some of the bad. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know how good was
if there was no bad.
Shit before, you know what I mean? So like, that's my problem with the whole theory.
I stay with the Bible. I like hearing things outside of it, though. That's for sure. So, an entrepreneur mindset is being creative, resourceful, and opportunities. I'm gonna play a little twist on something. What do you think an abundance mindset is?
Being fulfilled in what you have going on in your life.
Very good. I have my own little take, so there's no wrong answers on it. I want to throw it out there to hear what other people think. What do you got?
Wealth.
Wealth, okay.
Staying teachable.
Staying teachable. Anybody else? An abundance mindset. Having more than what you need. Very good. Anybody else? So an abundance mindset for me is believing that there's enough for everyone, so I'm generous.
Yeah.
My abundance mindset is not necessarily about what I have. My abundance mindset is that there's enough for everybody, so here is what I have. The more you guys that work the program, you got to give it to keep it, right? Do you know why they say that? Because when you give it, you see the purpose and what you went through it for. At the same time, when you give it, you get to appreciate.
Yeah.
So when you give it, you see purpose. And when there's purpose in something, you see value in it. And when you see value in it, you appreciate it. And when you appreciate it, guess what? You try harder to keep it. So if we don't give what we got, sometimes it's hard to appreciate what you did for yourself to get it. So if you don't appreciate yourself enough that what you did, you're not going to do these three things. And if we're not going to do these three things, this is going to happen. And when this happens, there's bad interpretation, there's bad responses to failing and the word no. All right? Any questions? No? All right, you guys can take a break. We'll be back 10:45. Thank you.